Why these deep-sea creatures break every rule of nature. A cinematic science documentary script. Part 1. Opening hook. The descent begins. Soft, low, ambient sound. Slow, heartbeat-like rhythm. We like to believe that Earth has been explored, that the maps are complete, that the rules of life are understood. But beneath the surface of the ocean, there is a world where those rules quietly collapse. A place where light dies, where pressure crushes steel, where time itself feels distorted. And yet, life thrives there. Not normal life, not familiar life, but creatures that should not exist and yet somehow do. Tonight we are not watching a documentary. We are descending. Downward, past sunlight, past safety, into a realm that feels less like Earth and more like an alien planet hiding beneath our feet. And the deeper we go, the more the rules of nature begin to break. Chapter 1. The last breath of sunlight. At about 200 meters below the ocean's surface, something important happens. Sunlight begins to vanish. Colors disappear first. Red fades, then orange, then yellow, until only blue remains. And then even that is gone. This region is called the twilight zone. Not dark enough to be dead. Not bright enough to feel alive. Here, vision becomes unreliable. Shadows lie. Distances deceive. And life begins to adapt, in unsettling ways. Extreme condition light is almost gone. Rule-broken eyes should be useless in darkness. Reality eyes become weapons. Meet the barrel-eye fish. At first glance, it looks fragile, delicate, almost cartoonish. But then you notice something impossible. Its head is transparent. Not metaphorically, literally. You can see its eyes, inside its skull. These eyes don't look forward like ours. They point upward, because in the deep sea, danger doesn't come from the front. It comes from above. Scientists believe the barrel eye watches for shadows, the faint silhouettes of prey blocking what little light remains. But here's the mystery. Transparent heads are rare in nature. Soft tissue usually blocks vision. Brains aren't meant to be exposed. So why did evolution choose this solution? Scientists still don't know exactly how such a structure evolved, or why it appeared so suddenly in evolutionary time. What we do know is this. In the deep ocean, seeing is surviving, and nature was willing to break its own design rules to make it happen. Chapter 2. The language of light. We descend further. 500 meters, 700 meters, 1,000 meters, total darkness. And yet, suddenly, flashes, flickers, glows. This is not sunlight. This is bioluminescence. Extreme condition. No light at all. Rule-broken light requires energy that shouldn't exist here. Reality life creates its own stars. Over 75% of deep-sea creatures can glow. Some glow blue, some green, some pulse like a heartbeat. The anglerfish carries a living lantern on its head. A glowing lure, a trap. In a world where food is scarce, the anglerfish doesn't chase prey. It invites it. But this raises a terrifying question. Bioluminescence requires chemistry, energy, control. So how does an animal with such limited resources produce light so precisely? The answer is stranger than expected. The anglerfish doesn't glow by itself. It farms bacteria, living organisms and kept alive and inside its own body, just to produce light. Scientists still don't know how this relationship first formed. Was it chance? Was it desperation? Or did evolution, under extreme pressure, begin experimenting freely, without concern for elegance or beauty? Chapter 3. Pressure that should crush life. We continue downward, 3,000 meters. The pressure here is 300 times stronger than at the surface. Enough to implode submarines. Enough to shatter bone. Human blood would boil, not from heat but from pressure imbalance. And yet, life swims calmly. Extreme condition. Crushing pressure. Rule-broken cells should collapse. Reality bodies rewrite physics. Meet the snailfish. Soft, gelatinous, almost shapeless. If you brought it to the surface, it would disintegrate. But down here, it is perfectly designed. Its body lacks rigid structures, no hard bones, no air-filled spaces. Pressure doesn't crush it, because there's nothing rigid to crush. Its cells are filled with special proteins that prevent them from folding incorrectly. This is important, because when proteins fold wrong, life fails. Scientists are studying these proteins carefully. Why? Because they might help us understand diseases like Alzheimer's, where protein misfolding destroys the brain. This raises a larger question. How many medical breakthroughs are hiding in creatures we barely know exist, and how many will disappear? Chapter 4. Giants in the Dark. We descend into legend. 4,000 meters. Here lives something humanity feared long before we understood the giant squid. Extreme condition near zero encounters with humans. Rule broken large animals before we ever find them.